It's weird when I have to do it.
I know.
There we go.
You don't got your backup.
I don't. I don't got my backup singers today.
I'm not. I know. Yeah. You don't got the Four Seasons to your Frankie Valley.
What up, everybody? I am Chris Platte, a.k.a. Platte Pods, and I'm with a friend.
They're
friend.
It's less and less by the week.
Yeah. Always they're dropping like flies out here. Getting electrocuted. Having weak-ass cars. All sorts of shit. So, I'm with, you know him as the man behind the scenes, making everything work. All the aesthetics that you see, everything, all of that, the thumbnails, the logos, all of that is this guy right here. The occasional spelling mistakes on the logo.
Hey,
but it's always on Birdie, so I can't complain.
I know. Yeah. It's not my fault he's got 3 of the same letter.
You gotta just fuck with him and just pick just each time pick a different letter to add 3.
Put 2 B's. Put 2 B's at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ordering from Applebee's. Would you like the apples or the bees? Yeah, I'm on the other side of the tracks today, baby.
Yes, well, you had to be. You had to be because it's your boy Tyler. Look, this one is gonna be kind of straightforward. We didn't have an episode last week due to some unforeseen circumstances, and now here we are, and there's a lot of music to talk about. So this will be more like I'm excited because it'll be less newsy, less like oh, what did Drake's IG post mean, and it'll be more like the music, but just some stuff to get out. I wanted to get out at the top. Rest in peace.
Election day is next week, so we'll have plenty more news next week.
It was funny because I was like, I want to get something important out. And then you come off, you're like, election next week. Go vote. Yeah, no, as if you don't have enough fucking political ads in your space. R.I.P. to DJ Clark Kent. He passed away of colon cancer, I believe, at age 58. Legendary producer, worked with us like Rick, Biggie, Jay. Just has his fingerprints on a lot of the iconic sounds that helped shape hip hop. So wanted to start off on a sadder note with condolences there. And I feel like, Chris, am I wrong, or did he get in the Dat Piff space at all? Because I feel like I don't
think the way that Drama did and all that not I mean
there was K Slay who also passed away
when you think of the Dat Piff era, really Drama's the one who comes to mind. Yeah, you think
of Drama, you think of Hookah, you think of
Khaled,
Cannon,
even early Khaled too.
Yeah, early Khaled too. Shit, like I said, DJ K Slay as well. Yeah,
I'm not really. I'm not 100% sure when it comes to.
Yeah, I don't think he got involved in the Dat Piff scene, but that was a legendary time when we would have all those fucking DJ tags and all that shit.
Man,
when everybody was going crazy.
Just wait till we get the soundboard. It's going to sound like Dat Piff 2006 in this bitch. I swear to God.
I swear to God.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Speaking of politics, earlier, Eminem came out for Kamala. Trick came out for Trump. Detroit was in this weird kind of cypher zone.
I just read that Cardi B might come out for Kamala.
Well,
no.
Yeah. I mean, Meg twerked for Kamala. Cardi B's gonna.
This shit is a fucking.
Dude, this shit is just a
clown
meme.
show, dude. It's so crazy.
I feel like it's everything that 20 years ago made fun of us for being or saying we were gonna be.
Exactly.
And now here we are.
And now it's literally turning
between Black Mirror, between Family Guy, Simpsons, all of cartoons and just all of TV shows that have always predicted the future. It's always been everything's gonna be shit and everything's gonna be not serious.
And we're no, that's not gonna happen. Yeah. And then here we are, and it's well, no, it kind of happened.
But yeah, I mean, I think respect to Trick the OG, but I think Kamala won that battle because Trick came out for Trump, and I was like, damn, that's huge for Michigan. And then Eminem comes out literally the next day, and I'm like, oh shit. No,
the only way he could rebuttal is if he has TJX6 come out.
Yeah.
Or V's.
Yeah, or
shout out Birdie.
Yeah, shout out Birdie for that one. Yeah, the other big news, the biggest news perhaps, is that Young Thug is home.
Yes, that just happened yesterday.
15 years probation.
Mm-hmm.
15 years
and
probation.
he has
I don't know the stipulations of it. But.
He's not allowed in Metro Atlanta for the first 10 years of his probation, which that's crazy.
Yeah.
He has to do talks at like a school about anti-gang shit like 4 times a year. Community service, like there's a lot of stipulations behind it, but at least he's not gonna go to jail for the rest of his life. So
I do think though, thank you for elaborating on that because I didn't actually know the specifics of it. But it feels
there's more too. I just don't.
It feels like it's one of those probations where they're gonna try to catch him slipping up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and try and prove a point. I mean, that was the whole thing with the Thug trial.
Because they're pissed. They're pissed that it was a shit show.
They were just trying to make a fucking example out of him to begin with. So it's not like that's over in any way, shape, or form. Like leave that man alone.
Yeah, for real. My boy Spencer always says, shout out Spencer, the heavyweights. He always goes. Whenever we talk about Thug on the show, he goes, "You hear pick up the phone? Yeah, that man shouldn't be in jail." He's a fool, man. Shout out to Spencer. But yeah, another thing, Chris, that you'll actually get into, then we'll get into the music. I just saw it today. I don't even think I put it in the group chat. There was the Drake and Future are cool now because of, I guess, Young Thug, according to Elliot Wilson. I'm not gonna.
He said, "Guys, stop."
Yeah, guys, stop. No, that Thug album is gonna be a moment though when it happens.
Oh yeah.
Like it's gonna be like everybody's gonna push for it. There's gonna be feature. Everybody's gonna want to be a part of it. Everybody's gonna want to support it in any way, shape, or form.
And it doesn't. I can't imagine he like comes home and is like, all right, I'm about to spend the next year and a half on this album. Like, it's probably not going to take, it's going to probably come out relatively soon.
I mean, I bet
he was probably in the middle of a fucking album when he got locked up in the first place.
I mean, he's at least thinking of rhymes.
Yeah.
Like, how many?
I mean, yeah, you're sitting there all day. You got nothing better to do.
I mean, yeah, like, bros, I can't wait.
Play this beat through the phone for me real quick.
Hey, if I was like the courts, just to be petty, I would have put like a stipulation where he can't rap about beating a RICO case as probation.
Oh, there also is stipulations on what he could say in his music. Yeah.
I'm sure there are, because that was like a big point of it.
Yeah, I can't remember. Can't mention
their whole
YSL.
case was founded on like music.
Yeah, I know, which is crazy. I mean, that's a whole. That gets deep, and that's like what Jay-Z's been fighting against for years, is like using rap music and
there was somebody I think it was in the UK where they had a ruling. Oh, it was that man. No, it was the dude in Canada. Drake's man, the one that said
top five, yeah. Who? Yeah, he got out and just started fucking wilding again. Like he was, bro. He got locked up. He's like, no, I'm a changed man. Look, I'm giving back to the community. As soon as the day he gets out, he's on live talking about Kendrick can't come to Toronto, mans.
Yeah. Hey, Kendrick, bro, come. I just want to talk to you, bro. Like, it's just like, dog. Wow.
That shit is different. Some people really got nothing to lose.
But this is something that's going to be your bag. I don't know if you've seen this, if you were, because I didn't post in the group. So somebody commented like Mike Dean is the best like mixer of all time, blah blah blah, and like posted Astro World and like and was like, oh yeah, like he's like the best at mixing. And then some random person just commented and said I think mixed by Ali is the best. And then Mike Dean goes, no. Like with his actual Twitter account. So then
that's petty.
Mixed Ali quotes it and goes, bro, you're 60, bro. Start a family or some shit.
I didn't see any of this. That's crazy. I don't know how that didn't cross algo.
Yeah, and I don't think Mike Dean said anything after that. But I mean, Mike Dean versus Mixed by Ali.
What do they do to verses?
Yeah, like
just out of mixing. I don't know. Like the thing is, mixing is so hard to gauge like what is good and what isn't, especially
as if you think it's hard to like compare albums. Fucking compare mixes. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. And like especially nowadays, like there's some shit that comes out from A-list, but like I've talked about it with Kanye. Like some of Kanye's mixing, even though Mike Dean mixes Kanye, doesn't he? Or used to.
I think he has.
I don't
think he does anymore because they did have that falling out after Donda.
Oh yeah, see, I don't even remember that. But yeah, it's like because. I mean, the Vulture shit was just not mixed well. And it's like, and that's just it. It's like, it feels like because if you look at everything from like 2016 to like 2020 or 21, everything sounded fucking perfect, damn
pristine.
Near. And now all of a sudden it feels like we're like regressing back into like shitty mixes, and it's like, and I mean I feel like a lot of it has to do with
SoundCloud.
Well,
SoundCloud era, like X and them, like they really kind of brought back. I mean, because we had it too in our era of Dat Piff, right? Like Dat Piff was shitty mixing, but we kind of like grew to even like now to this day. Like I have a soft spot for like artists that don't have properly mixed music, but it sounds like Dat Piff mixing.
Yeah, but
then SoundCloud did like the distorted shit.
Yeah, which is like that's fine too, and maybe that it is repercussions from that. But like if you look at all the A-list shit from that time. Like everything was it sounded like everything was recorded in the same studio, whether you're listening to Drake or 21 Savage or whoever, you know what I mean, because of how crisp everything was. And now it feels like it's like regressing into this, like, and I think a lot of it has a lot more to do with like people not being in the studio together, sending shit over. My engineer's on the other side of the country, but I'm recording it in this dude's fucking garage or whatever,
or in my fucking crib
or whatever. And then sending it off, and then maybe like the acoustics aren't right, or the equipment's not right, or whatever. So there's a lot that goes into it, but yeah, that is pretty funny. I didn't see that at all. And Mixed by Ali and Mike Dean are two very well. They're well to do in what they do.
Yeah, you know? If you had to ask me, because I know a few of the people in that realm, but like if you were to ask me to name like the best, like those would probably be the first two names that come to mind for me.
Yeah, because if you got mixed Kendrick, dog.
Yeah. Cool. Like, those fucking videos of him being like, all right, now I want a car driving by. It's like, it's like, bro, what? But yeah, so I thought that was something that you'd appreciate.
No, that's really interesting. I mean, I'd look into that.
Would you have a preference between Ali and Dean?
It's hard because Mike Dean's mixed a lot of people. Yeah. Mixed by Ali is like a little more condensed, so it's easier to kind of gauge.
But he has spanned outside the scope of TD.
Yeah, for sure. But that's the majority of his work. Where Mike Dean isn't really married to like a label or a group or a.
He was married to Kanye.
Well, so was Kim.
Yeah. Trend.
But. I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't really say, honestly. It's too because again, it's too subjective and it's too hard to tell. Even like having experience in mixing, there's so many little subtle things that could make or break a mix. You know what I mean? It's so hard to tell.
Yeah, I would have to go Dean just because I mean, like Kanye's catalog pretty much like Kanye's catalog alone pretty much wipes out TD's catalog almost.
Damn near, yeah.
You know what I mean? Or is like at least on par. And then you got to imagine
Has Mike Dean
all
been
the
mixing
other
him
shit.
since like day one?
Also, he's done a lot with The Weeknd. I don't know about day one. I know definitely since graduation.
Mixing singers can, I mean, I guess it's subjective still, but mixing singers, in my opinion, is easier than mixing rappers because rappers normally are not on key, and if the singer is singing properly, then you shouldn't have too much work on the back end because
that's true.
If they're hitting their notes correctly and whatever.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You know, but yeah, I mean, also Kanye, I'm sure hasn't always been the easiest to mix either, especially when he's in the studio like. All right, now this is what we gonna do. You got it. I'm gonna have this mask on and I'm gonna rap through the mask, but it has to sound like I don't got no mask on.
Yeah. And now motherfucker got titanium teeth.
Yeah, bro.
Titanium teeth
fucking
or titanium
slurring
grills.
the whole time. Goofy ass shit.
All right, man. Let's get to the
Cybertruck
music.
teeth.
Let's get to the music, man, because we had a shit ton of music. We had Tyler. We had Uzi. We have Westside Gunn. We have IDK, we have Shane Noir, we have a shit ton Conductor. There's a lot of drops, and those were just albums, by the way, not even getting into just singles and shit.
Everyone's really trying to hit that quota by the end of the year.
For real. Because we'll get to it. Is due. We'll get to it. Like there was like 5 albums also announced where I'm like, holy shit. And we'll get to that at the end. I'll shout those out. But
I didn't know Uzi was dropping this week. I saw the trailer like earlier this week, and I was like, oh, he's gearing up for a release. Yeah. I didn't see it coming on Friday.
Yeah, I think it was like late last week, like right
or whenever,
that he announced next week. But it just kind of popped up. And we'll get to his role in a minute, but let's start with the big dog. Let's start with Tyler, man, because I know.
And we haven't talked about it really.
Yeah, we haven't. We haven't gotten to.
I know. Well, we
because the rollout happened like between our pods, pretty much.
I know, but I'm saying like us off the pod.
Mic. You know, I've been avoiding it just to keep.
Yeah,
it fresh.
I know. Me too. I know because the fact that we live together and have not. It's like, yeah. So you listen to Tyler? Yeah, I listen to it.
And then that's about it. Which is so weird for us because of the way we talk about music. But yeah, man, first listen, initial impressions, because we have had time, and we'll get to the whole Monday versus Friday thing and all that, but we did have time with this release to sit with it, listen to it a couple times over a space of a couple days. Mm-hmm. But initial first listen, how did you feel about it?
I'm the resident Tyler stan on this pod, as many people know. Mm-hmm. I fucking love it. Honestly, I love it so much. It's exactly what I look for from Tyler. Like, I'm not looking for what I feel like the people who hate on Tyler are people who aren't looking for the type of music that Tyler makes. Anyone who is looking for that type of music is satisfied with this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, mm-hmm. It's a well thought out, well produced piece of music. You learn more about him than you've ever known on any other project, and that's above and beyond.
Yes,
it's by far his most personal work, like way, way above and beyond. And in a way, which it kind of in the way the album works, it's like so the second track he's kind of still in that "Call Me If You Get Lost" mode of like still kind of flexing, you know. Mm-hmm. And immediately after that, it goes into like the problems that come with that or whatever. Mm-hmm. So in a way, I think a lot of this album is kind of like the antithesis of "Call Me If You Get Lost."
It's like the irony of it. Like, that's the word that stuck out to me after hearing this record a couple listens. I knew it was personal off the first listen, but obviously it's just
it's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, you got layer by layer after the listens. But my first listen, I sat back and I was like, the irony of "Call Me If You Get Lost," because it's like that title would scream like, hey, I'm somebody that like has the answers, and then this whole album is him being like,
I'm just
holy shit,
I'm just as confused as you are. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it is like the irony of it. I thought it, like you said, I think you said it perfectly, that if you're looking for this style of music, Tyler does not disappoint. First listen, I really enjoyed the cohesion of the album. I caught how there was like, even on the first listen, I caught how a couple of songs, like the last line, just perfectly set up.
You can't,
like "Ratata" literally ends with the word "paranoid," and then the next song is "Noid." Like, yeah, it was just so much.
And I love when people when artists take enough time to spend and make it like to where sometimes you can't even tell when the song shifts.
Yes,
you know, and I love that because that's how it really. You get a cohesive project. And Tyler being as actually hands-on as he is, he's, one of the most hands-on people in the entire industry.
Yeah.
As far as every aspect of his album, of every ad-lib, of every this and that. That's what you get out of that. That's where you get that quality of paying attention to detail is like the big thing I think that you could take away from it.
And you know what my first listen takeaway was too, and it still is that strong. And you know, I try to avoid, at least for the first couple days, like seeing other people's opinion on music just while I'm forming my own. Mm-hmm. But I have had enough time to like kind of poke around and see what some people are thinking of it. And you know what's one thing I haven't seen anybody mention? I'm sure you're going to notice it right away when I say it. It's something you notice, is the vocal range of Tyler. Like, there was a lot of cadences and a lot of vocal inflections that I genuinely didn't think it was Tyler that was singing or rapping at that point. Mm-hmm. Like, and as you know of his artistry, like, he does have a very unique voice that is very like almost one-dimensional. And now this is a record, and I don't want to say it's always been one-dimensional. There has been some layers to it, but he doesn't have the most range of any artist vocally.
No, definitely
not even close.
Yeah.
So for me to like, there was times when I was like, wait, is that like Saba? Like it just sounded like people that were like totally different than Tyler.
Yeah.
And so I haven't seen anybody giving him credit for that. So credit to Tyler as an artist. I never would have thought he had this dynamic vocal range. Again, far from top tier, but I appreciated the new steps and all that.
He's an artist that, ironically, the best comparisons would be my other two favorite rappers, which was Kendrick and Mac Miller, of not having the biggest vocal range but making it work for what they have.
Well, I think Kendrick has a very wide vocal range.
Yeah, but he's not a great singer. Like,
oh yeah, no,
that's what I'm saying.
That's for sure.
That's what I'm saying is like.
But he does have like levels. Like Tyler, very much like how he raps is how he taught. You know, like
yeah.
That's what I mean in terms of range.
But you really got some actually like pretty solid singing. Like one really big standout was on, Tomorrow. Tomorrow was a big one that he and like him, he was really singing like actually singing pretty fucking well for what it is. You know what I mean? Like I'm absolutely impressed. I love it, and I still have to sit with it more, but I'm like almost ready to say it's his best work because in my opinion, as the Tyler fan, I've been listening to Tyler since Bastard came out. Like since the beginning, and I mean, I guess really more Goblin, but I knew about him when Bastard was coming and all that. And I've said this already. Like, Call Me If You Get Lost, I had said was his best work, and I mean, and that's his best rapping. Like, it's undeniable. Like at the end, it is. And as far as an actual body of work, this might even have taken that throne because of it has every single element. It has the personality. It has the deepness, the getting into his actual shit. I think it's definitely the most musically inclined album that he's made thus far. I mean, he's out here making real fucking like ballads. Like, you know what I mean? Like beautiful piano, guitar playing on it. Like, it's just like it was, I mean, front to back. Like the only song that really I'm not super crazy about is Judge Judy, but on a listen through, I can still do it. Other than that, I can listen to every single song without question. I love every other song, and I still like it. But that would be my one takeaway from the album as far as what I would take out.
Okay,
you know?
So you did mention Kendrick, and we'll get to Kendrick because I saw that was a lot of when I peeped the discourse was correlating Tyler and Kendrick, but you hit something that I want to actually say is my con to me. Well, I greatly enjoyed this album with more listens, and I loved digging into like the notes. Like, look, you can even just look at these are I won't read these on air, but these are literally my notes for the whole entire story, the story side of it. But for me, so I enjoyed like peeling back the layers, all of that. My thing with this record is that it is a great album. It's a very, very good album, but I don't find standalone records. So while I would put it in like his top 3 or 4, I don't think I would put it as of right now anywhere above like 3 for me, because what my issue with it is that these records sound great together, but like I don't see these records sticking with me long term. Like for example, Call Me If You Get Lost, it has records like
Massa,
like songs that or What's Your Name, like songs that will, and it doesn't even have to be the commercial song like What's Your Name, but like still those records stand out, right? Like you don't need to listen to a whole album. These records, it's a gift and a curse. Like when you hear these records, you want to hear the album, but you don't often, like I just don't see myself, if I envision myself 2 months from now, I don't see myself probably listening to anything other than Sticky or Darling I and then maybe like take your mask off, because I thought that was when we talk about rapping. That last verse.
Take your mask off. Maybe Tyler's best rapping ever.
Yes. I'm glad you're
ever in across his entire discography, which is very long at this point. I think it may be the best rapping he's ever done. Before, I probably would have said Massive, but I think that actually takes the cake.
That's another one I put in that conversation.
It was incredible. Like I was very impressed with that song specifically.
Yeah.
And who does he have on there? Is it Santa Gold? I think is on there. The features that he had on here were really interesting too.
Yeah.
Thundercat had a couple of pop-ins throughout the whole thing.
And I swear to God, Anderson .Paak has an ad-lib on this.
That's the other thing that we have, that he has one Baby Keem ad-lib.
Yeah.
On the entire album, there is one ad-lib, and I don't even know.
But apparently he's also singing of that. I think it's that same song. I forget which song I'm blanking on now because I looked on Genius, and apparently he's singing the hook with Tyler.
Okay. But that's what I mean when it comes to him with attention to detail. I want to get back to what you were saying about standalone tracks, because the thing is like I don't like with him. I don't need standalone tracks, because this is like one of those like the thing that which I do understand, like something that sticks out to why you would return, but when it comes to Tyler, he's a front to back listen for me.
Okay, he's
no matter like
I think he is an album artist, but what I'll say is this is I think quickly I want to keep you going, but to clarify my point here is that I think with Tyler, again, I appreciate the fact that like I don't want to fully knock him for like those standalones. I don't mean it fully like that. I just think those other albums, like Call Me If You Get Lost, which did age with me well. I like it more than I liked it when it came out. I never hated it, but I like it more now. But that, Flower Boy, Igor, like those have records that are good together in the context of the album, but they also like he also has on their Earthquake. He also has on there, you know what I mean, like
911 or whatever,
911. Like, to me, I just feel like this record doesn't have, like, because even Sticky is, like, really cool, but I don't even know if Sticky has, like, that pop out. So,
see, that's the one I would argue. That shit is a fucking banger. I love that shit.
That shit is so
honestly, hard. I'm not really a Sexy Red or really that big of a Glorilla fan, but goddamn, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, and then Wayne coming
and then
on
Wayne
too. Wayne perfect.
Sticky situation, discombobulation.
He only had like 4 bars.
Yeah, but that's what's kind of cool. It's like it was kind of a fun like posse cut type of thing that like we didn't need these like drawn out verses. The song was there for the fucking feeling of it. Like, and it was that song was so fun to me. Like I think it's so weird because it's like it's a sound that I feel like you've heard before.
Yeah.
Right? But it makes total sense in the context of Tyler the Creator doing that song that he's never done before.
I wish you saw the Pharrell Lego movie, because I swear to God, this should have just been the soundtrack. Like it was just it's so Pharrell 2000s production. All throughout this album, and I'm not trying to knock him for it. I don't mean it as a criticism at all. But
no,
like
he avidly says that Pharrell is his biggest influence across all boards.
That parallel there, like, again, I don't know. This is a really weird thing, but like with the Pharrell Lego movie, like it was this weird thing where like these Legos would light up as he was like building beats or whatever. I swear I have that like vivid picture in my mind every time I'm listening to these Tyler beats on here, because you're right, the production is insane, but. Going back to your point about I want to let you finish about the standout records, because I know you're looking at Tyler as an album artist, and I agree, Tyler is an album artist to me. But I think his other projects that are above this one, which aren't many, but the few that are above it have the same listenability and cohesion front to back that this Tyler album has. But it also has the stickouts too.
Which, yeah, I could see that for sure. But
like, let me ask you as a Tyler fan. So say you got like 20 Tyler songs, like a 20 Tyler song playlist, like a little more than an album's worth of Tyler music. How many records off this are getting on there?
I honestly probably I want to say 6 to 7.
Okay, yeah. Then you're just way higher than it. Because like to me, I think the only one I'd put on there is Sticky. I think that's the only
but
like
it
top
depends
20
if we're
Tyler
going if we're
record.
going top 20 Tyler records, because then we're talking about the deep cuts too.
Yeah.
So then you have Hey Jane, you have fucking Take Your Mask Off.
Yeah,
like
okay,
him,
yeah, so probably 2. I'd probably put Take Your Mask Off.
And I do want to give a big shout out to like him as well.
Yes.
Because of what that song really did, which is crazy, was he spent his whole career talking shit about how his dad left him.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that it was his mom that kept them separated. Yeah. And he didn't know that all these fucking years or whatever. And also it was cool.
Yes.
He had his mom narrating the album, which was very, very cool.
Very dope touch.
And even, dude, the outro is a really fucking good song too.
Yeah, the outro.
The outro is good. I also will say I think it's Tyler's best intro out of every fucking album too. I think it's the best intro he's ever had.
Really? I'm trying to think of his. No, I like Forward more.
See, no, I never liked Forward. I didn't like it when the album
Forward.
came out. I still never really liked Forward. It just there's not a lot going on there.
I like that slam poetry. How many cars can I like? It's just like that's so slam poetry rap, but I like it.
But no, I love, because you know what I love about this intro is that it took the element of, because honestly, what I would have said before, ironically, even though he doesn't rap on it, is Igor's theme.
Yeah.
The intro of that, where I mean, it's just like Uzi.
Yeah.
You know, but the beat to it, I've always been infatuated with, and he kind of takes the same idea, but he builds on it. He has a whole choir on the intro and shit, and then he actually raps on it and then builds off of that. So like, it kind of takes what Igor's theme did for me, what I loved about it, but then builds on it and makes it even better in a way. So I'm taking that. I think this is Tyler's best intro above and beyond, in my opinion. Like, because I mean, Sir Baudelaire off of Call Me If You Get Lost was cool, but it was kind of just a.
Yeah.
It was just rapping to rap.
It's just, yeah.
You know, this one really did it for me. Like, that's been one of my most returned to songs, is just the intro.
Yeah, I guess so. You know what? And that's something that I love Tyler, but what I'm piecing in my brain is that as great of an album artist as Tyler is,
he's not the strongest intro guy.
Yeah.
He never has been, because normally the way that he does his intros is he kind of he'll do his intro is kind of there just to lead to the second song, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Where that's the real start of the album, if you want to consider it that way.
Yeah, because true, when you're thinking of second songs, yeah.
Yeah, and then you think of Igor's theme leads into Earthquake.
Yeah.
You think of Sir Baudelaire leads into Corso, which again, it goes from super chill to like, all right, now you're getting slapped in the face, like, you know, so. And I'm blanking on the second track of Flower Boy right now. But yeah, I mean, I thought about that as I was listening to this. I'm like, this is the first time an intro of his, like, really, like, I'm considering to be one of the greatest songs on the album.
I've seen people shit on Ratata and be like, this is his worst song. Like, people hate on. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's. I wouldn't put it anywhere near.
It's not a highlight of the album for me, but
I think the energy does what it needs to do.
Yeah, and also I think it holds the place that it needs to hold too. Because like I said, it's that reflecting on the fact of like, all right, this is all the shit I have, and this is like the fame and the fortune and all this shit, and then it immediately goes into Noid, which kind of reflects on all that. And honestly, like, some people have said there's been mixed reviews on Noid. I really like that song too. I love beats that are like that. Danny Brown just had on his more recent album Cortana.
Cortana, I think.
He had a song that was very similar in sound to that, where it was mainly just like guitars and like heavy ass drums like that. And I don't know, those always have a soft spot for me. And Tyler's never done a song like that before. So I really like that. And then Thought I Was Dead, Schoolboy Q fucking snaps on that shit. Like, dog, that, and because I think, because I remember you saying, like, you were like, I like it, but the beat doesn't really do everything it needs to. But I love the beat.
I still feel that way.
I love the beat particularly because it reminds me of, it kind of holds the place of what Run It Up did on the last one. And I love Tyler when he uses them. What I like with Tyler is that he has those signature horns that he kind of uses throughout like a lot of his discography.
The bass needed to be more present. And you know me, I'm not like I'm not one of those people that's just like take every song and just add bass to it. But like at the same time, I think that was one where, especially when he gets to that dirty, grimy voice, that Tyler voice that we love, like I wanted him to just like, I wanted that shit to just punch you in the face.
Yeah,
and I think
it does. It's just not as as in your face. But honestly, his verse, which was like the lead, he like, because he did like kind of like half the song without Schoolboy, and dropped that as like a lead single kind of. That verse is so cool to me. The pull up tweets, pull up t-shirts. I'll moonwalk over that bitch. Yeah, that shit is hard as fuck, dude.
That shit was hard as fuck. And I know that's gonna be the line that everybody talks about because they're gonna correlate to
it's already been talked about because
I guess Taylor Swift fans don't like him. I don't know.
Yeah, no, because of the old shit that he's already fucking repented for long time and time again.
Well, he went against the goddess Taylor Swift.
Well, he said some shit back on Goblin, like about Taylor Swift or whatever, and now they're just bringing that up because they were mad that their girl got knocked out of fucking first place. God forbid. God, I fucking hate Swifties.
Wait,
that's on record. Chris Apples fucking hates the Swifties, dog. Fuck Swifties. Honestly, if you could be normal about it, that's cool. But these fucking stan accounts, bro, where are your parents?
Dog. No, I just can't imagine just tripping over that flat of a back. I can't.
Bitch with a long back.
I can't. Dog. That shit is long, dog.
And he addressed it too. He addressed it in Boston. No, not the flat back. He addressed it in Boston. That he was like, now I got all the fucking Taylor Swift fans.
Was that the like store or whatever he was performing from, where he charged like $5? Because I seen.
And he was like on top of the container or whatever. Yeah.
I want to say, I want to say this. I want to transition from like our thoughts on the album to kind of like looking at the perception, because I saw an interesting narrative that a lot of people said, and I think it's a good discussion. But I also think it's stupid at the same time, is that a lot of people are like, oh, this is Tyler's Mr. Morale. And I get it, like, because it's a personal album, and so you want to be like, okay, Kendrick's album is personal.
He's reflecting on his flaws a lot.
Ultimately, the way I look at it is, like, there's no doubt that this album is influenced by Mr. Morale, just because he spent the last 2 years saying how much he loves Mr. Morale and how fucking great it is and all this.
Yeah, and that interview, and he's like, I promoted Kendrick's album more than he did.
Yeah, like he loves that album. So there's no doubt in my mind that there is influence. But again, like let's call a spade, like Mr. Morale is Kendrick's 444. Like there's lineage to like a lot of these hip hop. So a lot of these hip-hop albums and artists just in general. We talked about Tyler to Pharrell. We talk about, we talk about all of these artists like Jay to Big. Like all of these artists have their influences. So to me, I don't like doing that. I do think it is interesting because I think he did kind of learn from Mr. Morale of like, there is that heaviness of Mr. Morale where everything is like so just like trauma dump, and I think he did obviously have a goal to make it like,
and he did that
more like listenable, like more like easier to kind of like grasp, but not as hard on the ears as Mr. Morale, because some people, well, we both love Mr. Morale. There are a lot of those people that are like, shut up, I'm not trying to listen to fucking Therapy. Right. And like this, it's a little bit kind of sugar coated at times. So I do think he did learn that lesson from it, but ultimately, I think it's a stupid conversation because I think you can trace everything back. Like everything has a lineage. Like there's not, there's really very few firsts of like anything
anymore. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because I can see, I think that it's more about where it stands in his discography, not necessarily like what it does for his discography, not necessarily like familiarity in sound or anything like that. I think it's the personability. Mm-hmm. It's the peel the fucking peel the layer back, for lack of a better term. Take the mask off.
Yeah.
And fucking, you know, and that's what that's like what Tyler did say. He's like, I just realized, he's like, I've been, you know, in the spotlight for so long, and y'all don't even know anything about me, really. Like, you know, and I think he did a good job of that.
I think he did too.
Of really tapping into a lot of subjects that he hasn't covered before, like, you know, as far as relationships, how he deals with love, how he's like, you know, he doesn't see himself being monogamous because he doesn't think he can like provide enough love to one person, or what, you know, like a lot of certain thing, like shit that he's never talked to. And so I do like that side of it, and I can see how that compares to Mr. Morale. But yeah, I mean, I see what you mean, is that like, yeah, you could say every album is someone's every album. Like, you know what I mean?
That's my point. That's why, to me, it's an interesting discussion to compare those two, because like, honestly, if I'm keeping it 1000 with you, there was a point in time in this week where I listened to Chromoakopia and I was like, you know what? Is this better than Mr. Morale? I think it is. And then I kind of sat with like, and then I kind of got to the conclusion that I have now, which is like it just doesn't have those standalone moments and power to me, where it's like, it's a very good album, and I think it's in that class. I wouldn't put it over it, but again, you don't have to make it a discussion. But I do think like that kind of discussion is interesting. But to say, it's like, so now what? So now any time for the rest of history, anybody that makes a personal album,
it's
like,
now
it's
somebody's Mr. Morale.
Yeah, it's now going to be Kendrick. Because if that's the case, then Mr. Morale is a classic. And all you people that hate Mr. Morale, like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's so like, you can't give Mr. Morale that much credit. Is my point.
As good of an album as it is, and as clear of an influence. I mean, literally spoken
direct
influence that he said that he's spoken about. You know, you can't really place it there necessarily. We can, like, you know, we do that for fun. We say, oh, this is like, this holds the place of like, damn. But again, placeholder is different for like what the album actually does, or how it, you know.
And again, like good artists have like elements of like other albums. Like Good Kid, Mad City has elements of Illmatic. Like there's just certain things in hip hop that, you know, that have, or in all genres. I mean, we'll just stick to hip hop because that's what I know. But there are those like defining albums that then have elements of other albums in them.
Yeah, and that's just it.
That's what artistry is taking that twist.
And that's the whole discussion now, is that there's no new ideas technically. So it's like, what can you do with it? And
how can you reinvent the wheel?
Like, you can compare I see how the two albums can be comparable.
Yeah.
But it's like Mr. Morale doesn't have a Darling Eye, and Chromoakopia doesn't have a Count Me Out. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So there's,
or a We Cry Together. Like, it doesn't even have something like that. Vicious.
Yeah, exactly. I mean? Which is interesting about Tyler. Like, you know, this is definitely his like softest album that he's made.
Oh yeah, for sure.
100%. Like, as far as like, because Tyler's always, because even if you go to Flower Boy, it's like you had songs like Who Dat Boy, which is like really just in your fucking face.
That's what I'm saying. That's where, like, to me, it's like, if you were to take like the Who Dat Boy like level of like griminess, that's what I wanted. You Thought I Was Dead, right? Yeah, I'm trying to get the tracks right, but that's what I would have thought.
Which I still do think those songs stand out to me as, like, you know, the resident bangers of the album, you could say. But like, again, the way I view it as a Tyler fan, as a fan of him, for not just the fucking bangers, and that's also just, I think that's a further discussion for even a different day of how people perceive music, is that, oh, it has to be this fucking, which, like, obviously, like, you don't and we don't on this podcast, but, like, you know, not everything has to be a fucking banger. Like, it doesn't, that's not what music is about. Like, it doesn't all need to be that. If that's your thing, cool, but that doesn't mean that if it's not, that it's not good.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but when it comes to Tyler, it's like, as the Tyler fan, I got what I wanted out of it and what I needed. I'm very satisfied. Like at the end of the day, I mean, I have that just like I get with all my favorite artists. Like when you get that post drop depression of like, oh, okay, we got another 2 years till we get something else. And it kind of sucks because now I'm like, because Tyler is one of those artists. It's like you never know where he's gonna go, or what he's gonna do, or what.
This is gonna be like an Igor album. I was totally off.
Yeah, and I thought it was gonna be a lot more. I called out. I said it was gonna be a lot grimier.
Yeah,
like that's what I thought it was gonna be, but it was actually like his most like beautiful, softest album. You know what I mean? And that's my biggest takeaway. Is honestly, it's just nice, beautiful sounding music is what what this album is really at the end of the day. And I'm satisfied. And I can say, although we've discussed on this podcast about how numbers clearly don't make it, but I'm happy to see it getting the recognition that it is. I mean, he's been shutting shit down as far as the charts go. And what I said to you the other day, too, which I think is really cool, was that day one, he held the top 5 songs on Apple, and it was literally the first 5 tracks of the album in order, which means that people are listening to the album in the respective order that it's supposed to be listened to in, which is what Tyler is very, very big on.
Yes.
Is like, because even the night before it came out, he's like, don't stay up all night and rush through it. He's like, listen to it tomorrow when you have time while you're doing shit, whatever. Listen to it, pay attention, and hear it for what it's supposed to be. And that's something I really respect. Is like he has such a respect for the integrity of an album.
Yes.
Which is
so valuable these days.
It's something that I feel like we're losing so quickly is like
Potty don't know shit about an album.
Yeah.
I love him.
I know. But yeah, it's like there is integrity. I mean, that's my problem with deluxes. Even though Tyler's did a deluxe for the last one, but that's always my problem with deluxe. It's like you made this album as a clear album. as an album.
Yeah.
There's a reason there's an intro and there's a reason there's an outro. Or my problem with Kanye fucking with his track lists always is like, so then why did you even put it out in the first place if this isn't what you wanted to do? Yeah. Like if you the point is that it's supposed to be this. Picasso didn't go add a couple fucking strokes to the painting.
I get doing it. I give you bail for one time doing it because that's creative. But now it's just like, okay, now you just know you can do it.
Now you're just playing too much into the gimmick of it. Like now, of like because now nothing is sacred. Like at the end of the day, like could you imagine if Kendrick went back in and started changing shit on Good Kid, Mad City? Like,
dude, we'd fucking riot.
Exactly.
We'd flip this table.
So it's like, so I do have a lot of respect for Tyler. I mean, obviously, that's one of my favorite artists, but also just because of his respect for what an album is and what it's supposed to be is I think that's such a thing that is being lost nowadays, and I don't want it to because that's how I like to consume music. I am an album listening. I'm not even good at making playlists.
Yeah,
like
I enjoy it.
Yeah, I know. Your way, like I'm not good at it. I don't like because I never know what to add and whatever. I'm so much better at like just knowing what albums I like and just like okay, boom, track 1, and then I can let that bitch play. Like I'm just and I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, I do want to close with this because we're spending a lot of time on Tyler, but like you said, fuck it. We don't got. Tyler will probably disappear for another 2 years. So
yeah.
So let's get to
like
this.
You said, he wants to be an actress.
Yeah, let's get to specifically an actress. Because I enjoy this album. It's an artist aging. I like that artists are aging as we're aging. But one of the big discussion has been with Tyler, and I've seen people say this is you know what? I don't know why J. Cole is the third. Tyler needs to be big 3, as if we just didn't get a whole fucking summer of there is no big 3. It's just Kendrick. Leave that man alone. Stop fucking doing that. But anyways, to entertain the J. Cole versus Tyler, the Creator conversation, I just want to ask this because I think that where Tyler is on your all-time hip-hop list, I don't mean you specifically, I just mean people in general when I'm talking to them, I think where you have him on your list is very indicative of the level of, I don't want to say hip hop knowledge, that comes off too arrogant. I think you can make a very strong opinion on somebody else's perspective of music off of where you place Tyler on like amongst all times. If you throw him in the conversation, how high you throw him, all of that. But I want to start with this. Before we get to the J. Cole part. So I want to ask this the right way. Artistically, I'm not necessarily even talking sonic-wise, but I'm talking style-wise of who Tyler is as an artist. Who are the all-time greats that you pair him with? Because I have a couple of names, but who are the names that you pair him with? Of hip hop artists.
I would put him,
or hip hop adjacent, I guess.
I mean, yeah, it's hard to say because it like.
Do you want me to throw the names?
Yeah, like who? Because I have something to say on this, but I like what? Who would you pair? Because he is a very hard to compare artist. He is
unique.
He's a very one of one. There's nobody really that like him. You know?
I just mean, again, and obviously he has different sounds than these guys, but I think he falls under the Dr. Dre, Kanye, Pharrell type of hip hop artists where they are very
well, yeah, I would have said Pharrell.
Yes,
I don't know how I didn't think Kanye.
Hands-on musically, production-wise, and they're also not the greatest rapper per se,
but the music.
But yes, it's the music.
Yeah, and that's just it. It's like, and also it's so different that it works.
Yes,
like, you know, because some people try and be different and it just doesn't hit the nail on the head, such as maybe like the Yachty album that was earlier this year or whatever.
So,
or with not the James Blake one, the one before that. But yeah, it's like it's so different that it works. Yeah, I would have said Pharrell for sure. I just it's like it's hard.
He's like hip hop adjacent, but like I still put him in Dre and Kanye too, where they're producers. They're I don't even want to say Tyler's more of a producer than a rapper, but I think in some senses he is. And at the same time, it's just very clear that he is very hands-on in the production and the curation of an album, of his albums, and that lyrics are a part of it, yes, but
it's the big thing is the production value.
It's just the overall package of it. I won't even say the production. I think he looks at music as the overall package of how, like, the whole thing,
and he takes a lot of pride in that.
Yeah, and that's what Kanye and I think Dr. Dre do. Is that you're not necessarily coming to them for the best raps or the best production, even although they definitely have had, you know, the best production at times.
But when you package all of it together,
you're listening to Kanye and Dre for the whole thing, and you're listening to Tyler for the whole thing. So where I bring all this to say is that, to me, if you're putting him in that class, which is albeit an all-time great class, those are some of the greatest hip-hop musicians of all time, but he doesn't have anywhere near the universal classics that those have. Like, we talk about Flower Boy as a classic, we talk about Igor as a classic, but I don't even think all of hip-hop defines those as classic. I think there's sectors of hip-hop that define those as classic.
I like, as much as I in my head want to put him in the big three, like, or well, because he's my and I don't give a fuck what nobody says, he's my fucking top dog basically. Besides it's Kendrick and him, and rest in peace Mac Miller. Those are my three favorite rappers. And I think like, look at it like this, it's like, so if you think of it in terms of booze, right, you got, all right, like Drake is like a beer, suitable for all situations.
Yeah.
It's not going to get you there as quickly, but it's always going to, it doesn't matter what season, it doesn't matter what situation, it's always going to work. Where Tyler acts like more of a wine, where it's like, you only drink it on special occasion. You only kind of like, and you have to be in the mood for it. Now that goes against like to me where I'm always in the mood for it, but
but
that must mean I'm a wine person in that context. You know what I mean? So it's like, or where like you could say Kendrick in terms of rap is like fucking hard liquor. It's like in your face and right there. Fucking and it's smack like
if
that,
you're fucking about it, you're about it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, so there's all different levels to it, but I like.
And then there's J. Cole, which is a club soda.
Yeah. J. Cole's a Shirley Temple, fucking no liquor in it. Yeah,
no,
but yeah, it's like I just put I've seen that conversation coming up in the past week, and it's like we don't got to do this. Like not everybody who drops a good album from this point forward needs to be, oh, well, they should be the big three.
Or, they should, like, dude, everybody's just ready to boot J. Cole. And I like
I bet somebody's going to say after fucking, which we'll get to Uzi, but somebody, he's in the big three now.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Like, for real. Like,
and that's my point with it is that, you know what?
The big three is that we've been having the same big three discussion for a long time. Yeah. That doesn't, even if you say J. Cole, like, I mean, like the joke of like, okay, it's just Kendrick and da-da-da. But it's still the big three. It doesn't have to do with right now or current time. It's the generation. The past 10 years, the big three have been more than 10 years. Past 12 years. The big fucking three have been the big three. That doesn't change just because even of this beef. That doesn't change because that is always just going to be when I say, if my kid 10 years from now, whatever, asks me and says, who are the biggest rappers when you were 19 years old?
Yeah.
It's Kendrick, Drake, and Cole. That doesn't change.
That doesn't mean those are your favorite. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean that there weren't other artists that were like just below, but like you really enjoy. And that's why like I enjoy the thought exercise of like, okay, like let's actually see if like is J. Cole better than like Tyler. And so I had that conversation, and that's where I went to is the fact that Tyler. So obviously, we don't even have to spend more than a second on it, but J. Cole versus Tyler rapping-wise, J. Cole gets him out of here. Big gap margin there. And then you talk about discographies. I think I see the argument for Tyler. I feel like it's comparable because I think J. Cole's 2014 is bigger than anything Tyler's done. But I think Tyler has a lot of those other, like if you're drafting their albums, Tyler has like probably, like 4 of the next like 6 spots or something like that. So I think there is like a fair-ish debate about albums between those two.
And you have to look at it in the context of like we're talking when it comes to Tyler, there's 2 very clear defining differences in era.
Yeah.
Where Flower Boy he reinvented himself essentially. And I think, and he's even admitted as like once he did Cherry Bomb, he's like, okay, maybe this isn't working. Maybe I need to flip, and he's talked about that.
But I don't think Goblin and Bastard are like
no. Well, yeah, that's when I became a fan of Tyler. But when you look at it like that, like I wouldn't consider those to be classics. I wouldn't consider. I mean, like Wolf. I think out of that era, Wolf definitely takes the fucking cake. But I
think so too.
It's the fact of like in terms of the kind of like if we're talking about like okay, like J. Cole's 2014 being the incredible body of work that it is and how long ago it was, and he's just built off that in a way like. What we're looking at with Tyler, I'm kind of looking at it in the context of it started at Flower Boy, and now we're going
he's reaching a new peak, and that's my point too. So J. Cole's got the rapping right, the discography. We can have our arguments. You can be on whatever side of the fence you're on there, but it's debatable. So fair enough. And then the last part is that J. Cole has been dominant for 15 years. Like he has been omnipresent. He has been a name that everybody knows,
household name,
and Tyler is now, to me, like you said, with this Flower Boy on era, he's like reaching a peak to where I think he's now entering a level or a stratosphere that is J. Cole, but also J. Cole's been there for a while. So like to me, Tyler needs more years before I can put him over J. Cole personally, because
he made this transition from being like a really like niche artist to like being a fucking superstar,
like household name,
a superstar now.
Yeah, 250 to 300K in 4 days. Now, granted, I do want to say let's be fair, because I know my boy Kendrick's going to do the same, but these numbers are inflated. He did the bundles. Those numbers are definitely juiced, but again, the big artists are going to do it.
As far as what?
Oh, you didn't see? Bro had bundles on his website. That's how he did the 250K. Like,
it's just the CD with fucking.
Well, he did like the CD, he did the vinyl, he did shirts with the album. Like, he did like.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of a given in today's day and age.
Which all count. Well, true, but only the big artists do it.
As big of
a
Tyler fan as I am, I don't
care,
because the thing when
I don't care.
The thing when
I'm
it
just
comes
being
to
real about the numbers.
But the thing when it comes to Tyler is you don't have people buying fucking every bundle on the website like that. It doesn't.
I think Tyler does.
I disagree. I
think Tyler and Travis are two of those people that like, and particularly I actually got in a good conversation. You know, it's a good conversation is that we don't have to spend time on it. But it was a good point that our boy Josh made, is that Tyler's like merch game and all that smokes the big three.
Oh, for sure.
And so,
and that's the thing with Tyler. It goes beyond his creative direction.
Yes, is
a miles beyond almost anybody in hip hop music. Honestly,
when you put together the fashion, I think musically, him and Kendrick are like there.
Music, yeah, no, but music aside, creative direction as far as his rollouts, you can clearly, if you see a photo of Tyler, you know when that was, what album it's from, just based on what he's wearing, like, and the fact, and like I know like Kanye's kind of done that too, but Kanye's. Also haven't always been different enough to where you could tell them apart. Where Tyler, like, it's so clear as fucking day of which era, like the Igor wig compared to this.
Yes.
This one.
Very good. The Igor wig versus the mask.
Versus, or versus, call me if you get lost. He had that one hat with the fucking luggage and shit. It's like, you find these and that's like where Tyler really, really shines, is like, and that's that's what makes him such a prominent figure in music in general. Yeah. Is he really is looking at every fucking angle.
Yes.
Front to back. And the last thing I wanted to say too was the one thing that I think we can be confident in Tyler is he has now been obviously more now than ever, but a relatively prominent name in hip hop since 2009. You know, so the one thing we know about him is staying power.
That's true.
He's around and he still ain't going nowhere. He'll be around still. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's something I don't think people saw that coming with him. I think especially if people were looking in like 2014 and 15 at the earlier Tyler, people were probably like, this is a fad.
Especially with where like the times were, like cancel culture again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he did a perfect pivot. So shout out to Tyler, man. This album is dope. Again, 250 to 300K. Again, there are some fugazing with the numbers, but get yours. I don't care. I love the artist.
Bundles or not, that's good art. Or that's good numbers for 2024.
The last hip hop album to go number one with 4 days or less of sales counting towards, as opposed to the whole week, was Encore, Eminem. So you're talking something that hasn't been done in pretty much 2 decades. So shout out to Tyler for that. A big moment. Like I said, I love the discussion. I'm all for the discussions of where Tyler's at all time. To me, like, if you have him over like Game or Snoop, it's just like, all right, come on, like you're bugging me. Like, I think Tyler's a very good artist and he's very pivotal he's not. I wouldn't. No, he has been pivotal, but like now it's like he is essential to this era that has had very long staying power. This era that we grew up on, And obviously it helps that we are still riding for our artists and everything of that nature.
And it's easier now than ever to fall off and nobody even.
This era's had such longevity. Like this whole Drake Kendrick Cole thing was supposed to be gone like 8 years ago. Mm-hmm. There was supposed to be another that.
And it's still hanging on, yeah.
And there just hasn't been. So shout out to Tyler, man. This was a dope album.
Made me very happy.
I enjoyed peeling back the layers. I can't wait to see what my girl thinks. My girl's a huge Tyler fan.
Is she?
Yeah. Oh, she's a Tyler stan.
Oh, you did say something about
that's why I'm fucking going to a concert. Like,
oh, I'm going for sure. I don't give a fuck at that shit.
You know me. I wasn't gonna spend. I wasn't gonna spend no 200 bones. I love Tyler. I wasn't gonna.
And look, I'll tell you what. I went to the Call Me If You Get Lost tour. It's top 2 concerts or 3 concerts I've ever been to.
Oh, I believe it.
Because that's where he really shines too. Not to keep going on about, but performance.
Yes,
he really outdoes it every fucking time. He is so good at. He's such a good performer, man. The energy. So shout out to Tyler.
Shout out to Tyler.
He's there for me. He is not. This is only made me more infatuated with him as a fucking artist, as one of my favorite artists. So. I'm satisfied.
Yeah, let me know if you want to go with us or if you want to do your own thing. But I have to go because
we'll talk about it.
I have to go because she wants to go.
I'm going. It's not for a while though, isn't it? It's not till like.
She's thinking I'm still gonna be around.
All right. No, it's not. I think it's not. He doesn't come here till like.
It's July 3rd.
July, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
Next, what day of the week it is? I'll put my PTO in right now.
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say something different. All right, let's transition before I get myself killed.
Transition.
Uzi, this is the other big one. This ain't gonna be as long as Tyler. Tyler deserved this time. Uzi, Eternal Take 2.
How do you feel as the Uzi fan in comparison to me?
Which is interesting because I feel like at first you were more.
Oh, I was. I found Uzi before. Like, yeah. I was a fan of Uzi before you, but just go ahead.
I want to start with the rollout because I think he also. I want to give him credit for his rollouts. I think he does fascinating rollouts. Like the fact that he like changed all his album covers and like whited them out and stuff. It's just like just little shit. Okay, I've never seen him do that shit. And then the Pink Tape one, which I hate that album. But the trailer that he posted, that was like the anime shit, It was sweet. I would have watched like a whole like series that he apparently had like a little TV show video trailer that he did. So to me, like I think Uzi is dope. And I thought coming into it, we were getting like hip hop Uzi. Like we were getting like, okay, like he did the Pink Tape shit, which was like the whole like I'm going for that different sound. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and I thought, okay, that's fine, whatever. Now, I thought we were getting hip-hop Uzi. I was fucking wrong because, look, I'll keep it to you like this. My Uzi thoughts are short and sweet. I don't know if it's my ears, but some of these flows just don't work for me. I hated that intro record. There's a couple records I like, but
here's one. I sent one in the group chat. I was like, this one is fucking terrible. Which, like, this is just not a good song.
I think that was one of the ones I liked. But there was, I think it was like Meteor Man or whatever. Meteor
Man, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember if I liked that or not.
We can go over it again after the pod's over.
But I will say this, man. What the fuck, Uzi? Like, I thought you were the one. Like, I put a lot of stock into Uzi for a lot of years because I saw the versatility. I saw the fact that he could do this rock star shit. I saw the fact that he could do a record like Shells where he could just rap at an elite level. I held on to this alleged him and Royce record that was supposed to happen with DJ Premier, but didn't happen. Like,
you've given him a lot of leeway.
I think that Uzi has the talent to do anything. Like, I think he really has the talent to push boundaries and stuff. And I don't know if it's I don't know. I don't want to get personal and like speculate on why, but I thought Uzi had potential to be all time. I thought Uzi had potential to be a defining artist, and I think he is a very substantial artist of the era because just of the numbers he does and the fact that he does reach a certain audience and he does reach it very well. But
I think he's a good representation of like his class as a whole. Also,
yeah, I mean, he's definitely like the better or the best version of his class. But I thought he was somebody. Again, when it comes to hip hop nowadays, it's so divided because you have the people that are like 50 that grew up listening to hip hop, then you have the people that are 14 that are just starting to listen to hip hop. Mm-hmm. So you have this massive divide. I thought Uzi, not that Uzi was gonna be this like one for all like everybody, but I thought he was gonna be able to reach more pockets than he has. Hell, I thought Uzi was gonna do like an R&B album at one point, and it was gonna go crazy. Like I thought Uzi had all this potential, and you know what, man? I just gotta let go of hope today. Like that's it. I'm out. I think Uzi has had great records in the past. He's had awesome moments, but I have to let go of the hope that this guy can be who I thought he was going to be.
Right.
Uzi, I think, is now going to be a footnote rather than a signature timestamp of an era of hip hop. I unfortunately I think he missed the mark on what his potential really was, and I have to let go of that hope now. Now when Uzi comes out, you know what? I am not as excited as I was 2 albums ago
because he's not keeping you on your fucking toes anymore.
He's not.
It's like I mean, I hate to say it's like the same reciprocated, regurgitated thing that he's already done, but it kind of fucking is. And
it is.
I mean, yeah, there's little takes, but if anything, it's like, okay, so some of the flows sound more like Yeet, like or whatever. Like it's like, but beat selection, I think I can't. There was one song on the album that actually stood out as like, oh, this is something I've never really heard him do before, and it was I'm gonna have to refresh myself with the name. It was like an R&B record.
Oh, the Chill on Me or whatever.
I got you right now.
Because I did like that record, and that was kind of R&B.
I think that's what it's called, or something along those lines.
I think it was that one.
It was Chill Bay.
Yeah, Chill Bay. Yeah,
yeah, that
it.
one, and
I agree.
It was that, and I like the outro Space High.
Yeah,
those are the only two that like stood out to me. Is like, oh, these are pretty. I enjoy. I would come back to these songs. That's a lot of music to have
16 songs to be like one and a half of these I like.
Not be none of it be memorable. And that's just, I think, I mean, in a lot of senses, I mean, maybe I'm an old head or whatever. Whatever you want to say, but I'm like, that's such a thing now of just this immemorability. Like, I get if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Mm-hmm. I get it, but at what point do you
see the bigger picture?
Okay, so yeah, you have a flat screen TV. If it ain't broke, they'll fix it. But you're gonna want 4K at some point.
Yeah.
And you're gonna go buy a new TV. That TV could still work perfectly fine, but that don't mean that it's doing what you want it to do, and you're gonna fucking replace it. Like, yeah. It's just, and that's
you're gonna move on. Yeah.
That's just, it's so like that's the one biggest critique I have on a lot of hip hop music, right? In this current time that we have, is the disposability that people like. It's just. When I've seen what Uzi's done in the past compared to this, and that's coming off of Pink Tape, which you're like, okay, he tried something different. Maybe that was,
yeah.
And then like now this comes and it's like, okay.
I wish Potty was here, man.
I know, yeah.
I know, and you know what's funny is like he hasn't even gotten to tell us how he feels about it. So
yeah.
I know for a fact
It just didn't do it for me.
It didn't, man. It didn't. And
I wanted it to.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think, like I said, I think this album just felt like it wasn't a real album. And you know what? The other thing is, too, is that Uzi's one of those people where I thought, okay, like, maybe he can pull off the sequel. Because usually, what is the first sign of somebody being washed? Doing a sequel. Whether it's movies, whether it's music.
And I don't know if you saw this, but originally it was Love Is Rage 3. Then it was another one of his albums, 2. But then he decided, so he didn't even have.
So he just wanted it to be a sequel,
and that's what people are saying is that like that's how everyone like the real diehard Uzi people are like. That's how we kind of knew this was gonna be a flop was because he couldn't even decide what sequel to make, and he just slapped a title on it at the end of the day and sent it.
Like, and even the album cover is like Uzi has good album covers too, and this was not a good album cover.
Well, recipes Virgil with fucking Love Is Rage 2 doing the guy who did
that shit was
the
sweet.
Guy who made the designer of Off-White making the fucking cover for him was a great move. That was a very, very good move. But it's just it's like that's just it. It feels rushed. It feels like it was a collection of songs that he had recorded that he just kind of now there was like I can't tell you off the top of my head. There was a song or two on there that I'm like, oh, this kind of sounds like old Uzi. Like a little bit, but like at the same time, we've heard enough of it. I want something new from him.
Yeah, and it's just like too, and I get that I'm not now. I am in the minority of like Uzi fans where I'm like I do want to hear about his life. Like I like a song like Lullaby on the Future record where it's like okay, like he got kind of personal, he got kind of into some. You know, like kind of into some shit, rap it very well.
And in his earlier music, you had the lore of who Britney was to him, and like whatever. You
have that on this album. It was like the only time I ever heard him say something substantial was like, "Y'all thought I was on pills, but I was on beans," and I was like, "All right, I don't even know like drug lingo, so I don't know the difference."
A bean is
it's a pill, right?
Yeah, it's a nickname for a pill.
So I could have fucked up the bar.
Maybe they say it's ecstasy or whatever. I
could have fucked up the bar, but
I don't know. It's been interchanged between a bunch of different. Some people say beans. I'm off of bean. Percocet, ecstasy. I don't know. It's fucking the same. Oh, I'm not on this drug. I'm on that drug instead. What the fuck?
The point being, like, that's what you like when you're saying something, because a lot of it is I fuck you, bitch. You give me face, like like all that shit that like Uzi does. Which again, I'm not like everybody has to have like thoughtful music all the time. I'm not going to Uzi for the most thoughtful music, but I do appreciate when he does like kind of like give his thoughts on things. And like the one thing that he would put substance into was like, hey guys, I'm not on this drug, I'm on that drug. And it's just like, all right, bro, like come on, like you're telling me like, think about it this way, like he has, and not to get messy, but like he has a whole case about, like I think it was like St. John was like sleeping with his girl or whatever, and like he pulled a gun on him.
Haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, there was.
I do kind of remember that now that you say that.
Yeah, there was something there, and I don't want to get too messy on it, so I apologize if I'm bringing anybody into fucking up. But I think it was over the ex, the Britney girl, and so like okay, like that was a situation. Like go into that. Like go into like okay, like why it's like you have this toxic relationship with this woman that made you do some dumb shit, or why you feel like like Uzi has substance to talk about. He's just not choosing to. And again, I'm not asking for a 444 from Uzi. I think I'm somebody that would love that, but like I'm not asking. I think
something.
Yes, something, because if it's not gonna be the production, if the production's not gonna be interesting, then you gotta say something interesting. And I just think he fell, man. I think he fell. I think he's in a rabbit hole. I don't think he's going to climb back and ever deliver another album that I think is going to be up to par with some of his best work.
Yeah,
But I don't want to also fully write him off because he is like 28. Like he's like
he's
what I mean? Like
he's my age. Yeah,
he's like
so
he's got time to figure it out, I guess. But like I don't know. Maybe he is cooked. I don't know. We'll see. I have to let go. That's what I do. I have to let go of hope, and now I can maybe be pleasantly surprised one day. That's where I'm at.
If something happens, yeah, because I think that I was already kind of there going into this one. Because I honestly, like, Love Is Rage 2 was the last album that I really, really, really liked by him. Like, the first Eternal Take was fine, but I didn't return to it too much. And then Pink Tape didn't do anything for me really. And then did he do a Lil Uzi Vert versus the World too or something like that?
Yeah, he did. He did it with Eternal Take. That was like the deluxe. Remember?
Oh yeah, right. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I just like nothing he's done has really impressed me that much compared to what his older work was. And the thing is like, you don't even, and when it, I mean, like, an artist like him, which is like, I mean, not to be like contradictory to my last point, but he is the type of artist that needs the standout.
Yeah.
He needs that shit. He needs the EXO tour life.
Yeah,
he needs,
absolutely.
And he does not have that here.
Not even close.
Not even remotely close, like that's not gonna, there's no saving grace with this one. I mean, again, there's a couple of songs that were all right, but does that make it worth the entire album full of filler that we got? Like,
Yeah. I don't know, man.
It's just not. I agree with you. It's like, at this point, I'm not expecting anything from him.
Yeah,
man, I was hoping
maybe one day we could be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I agree.
Freddie Gibbs, man. Let's get to the other rounds. We got Freddie Gibbs. We got Westside Gunn. We'll start with Freddie though.
Snapper.
Yeah, I
mean, Freddie Gibbs is another one of those artists that's like he kind of makes the same album over and over again.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Is like, this to me felt like it was below the standard that I hold Freddie Gibbs to. Like, because he always raps well, and he always has pretty good production. But this time, I thought the production was different. It was different. I don't mean different as in like out there or wacky. I just mean it was different than his last couple albums. Mm-hmm. So I understand he was trying something different and he rapped well. I just feel like this was a record where, like, his last album, like the Soul Sold Separately, like, I think clears this album. Like, that one felt like a defining Freddie Gibbs album. That felt like a big Freddie Gibbs moment. This just feels like something he put out that's quality, because Freddie's always going to deliver quality because he can rap very well.
His beat selection is normally pretty good.
And again, I don't think the production is terrible here. I just don't think it's up to the standard of.
He shines the most, which I mean is very clear. He shines the most when he has the producer collabs.
Yeah.
Whether it's Madlib or Alchemist or whoever,
Absolutely. I actually don't know the production credits on this record.
It wasn't like with any. I mean, I'm sure that there's sprinkles of whoever. I haven't looked at it either, but that's when Freddie Gibbs shines the most, is when he's kind of curating an album with a producer, and kind of, because I mean, you can kind of see the same thing with like a MF Doom, like, that's what Mad Villainy, like, a lot of what makes Mad Villainy so special is the fact that him and Madlib kind of crafted this whole thing together.
Yeah.
And not that is like a make or break for anything. That doesn't make it better or worse, but a lot of the time you're getting more quality that way because you have an equal ear that you're bouncing off of. It's just as much their album as it is your album. So that way you have that kind of that voice in your ear pushing you to, no, do this instead. Whatever. But I mean, I definitely didn't hate the Freddie album, but it's also just nothing. He's one of those artists that it's never really anything outside of the box of what I would expect from him.
He can knock it out of the park, but it's occasional. But he's never gonna strike out to me. Like, he's never gonna, and I hate that I use the baseball analogy because baseball sucks, but to me, that's how I feel about him. It's like, he's always gonna deliver quality because
he can't drop bad music.
Yeah, he is a very good rapper. I just think this was one thing when you look at his discography that is gonna be like, oh yeah, this album. Like, I like this record, Walk Off, or what I think was what it was called, or Walk
Another
It
baseball
Off.
term.
Yeah, it was like Walk It Off or Walk Off or whatever. So if I did that unironically. Or Rabbit Island was the one where he took shots at J. Cole, and he said, "Gangsta Gibbs, I ain't ashamed like Jermaine. I won't delete later." Like,
that's funny.
Bro, this guy J. Cole, man, look, it's tough. like everybody is taking shots at Jake.
Actually, not to bring it back up, but Tyler kind of did too.
Yeah. Yeah, Tyler had that. Yeah, what was that line? Because I remember seeing that.
It was something about almost like.
I think it was on. I thought I was dead.
It was the outro. He said something on the outro. It was something along the lines of, "I'm not gonna talk shit and then tuck my tail" or something. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, along those lines. Man,
this guy cold dog. Like,
and that because then he said something about pop out afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like damn. Do you remember in 2018 when Cole was like, "Oh, I had a girl over and she wouldn't shut the fuck up, so I put on some J. Cole and she went right to sleep and shit like that."
Yeah,
like people have been hoeing J. Cole for years, and he was finally at a point where everyone
finally broke all of that,
and now it's right back there.
Dude, it's terrible,
it's so
man.
Crazy.
It's terrible, man. Because like even as I was rocking through those Cole eras, and it was a little earlier than that. It was like 2015. It was like around For Your Eyes Only, where it was like snooze fest, and I was like,
people were starting to get like that with Cole.
And I was like, nah, man, like Cole's just a great rapper, and I still feel like obviously he is.
Well, he is, yeah,
but
of course.
He's just gotta, and I'm not trying to be the guy that I'm not the guy that's like everybody like blood. We need blood. Because I know that was a point in his little record, Port Antonio, like everybody just wants to see blood. And I do think there's a lot of media. But at the same time.
His little record is crazy.
Yeah. Like it was a little record. It wasn't even on streaming.
I forget that it came out already.
Like, come on, man. Like, it's just, with J. Cole, it's like, look, I'm not calling for blood. But in this case, you just have to, dog. There is. Like, everybody in the world is shitting on you, and if you do nothing and you have an album called The Fall Off.
Yeah, I know. There is a lot. And dude,
like,
all right, like,
and he can't change the name. He's been promoting the album for 7 years.
Okay, so like, not to, obviously we're not bringing politics into it, but one funny thing I saw when Trump was doing the McDonald's thing. That and everyone's like, there was like all these photos that came out from that day, and everyone's like, if he loses,
dude, my God, what the internet's gonna do?
And it's the same thing. If he does not deliver with the fall off, do you know how easy of a fucking home run everyone's gonna have with that?
Oh my God!
Because of the name itself. Yeah, he fell off. Take that and vary it 1,000 times, and that's what the internet's going to do.
1,000 different ways, and like way more mean. Like,
yeah, that was the nice version.
Yeah, like they're going to be like, dude, they are going to cook that man if he doesn't deliver.
I knew when he announced that was going to be his last album, I'm like,
I said that too.
That's a tough name to pick, dude.
Cause like
I get why, but
yeah, I get it.
You are setting yourself up.
It's supposed to be ironic. I get that, but dog, if you don't make it clear that it is ironic, you are fucking cooked.
He is gonna be. You are. He is fucked.
Like, dude, and that's what I'm saying. Like just even judging off of that little record that he dropped, like you saw how like people were just like there was almost nobody giving them grace. It was either, oh, you shouldn't have said that, yeah, but I still would have won. I didn't fight, but I still would have won. Or there was people that were just like, dude, this is like why did you wait 5 months to say this? You should have said this that week or 2 weeks after. Like, why'd you wait? Like, he was in literally a no-win situation, because if he never said anything, everybody's gonna be like, oh, look at this man, like he's a bitch, he's a pussy, blah blah. That's what I say. Like, bro, Cole, I don't know who you have to fire on. I know people made a good case. I made a good case that it should be Kanye, because like that's somebody that like it's like you're an all-time great and that has the name cachet, but then also at the same time he can't rap with you on your level, and people are ready to turn on Kanye, so you can fire on him. But like he's just got to do something, because bro, this is getting out of hand. Like, bro, if a guy like Freddie Gibbs is dissing you, and I don't want to disrespect Freddie Gibbs by saying that statement, because Freddie Gibbs is a very good rapper, but you know what I mean? Like if there's an artist of that caliber that feels comfortable stepping out and shitting on you,
yeah, you gotta,
dude, You gotta handle these motherfuckers, Cole. Please.
That's like that scene in Step Brothers when all the kids on the playground beat up Dale. Like, you know, like, they make him eat dog shit. Like, it's literally like what it is. You're getting people out the woodwork who shouldn't even have shit to say.
Dog, I swear to God, bro. Motherfuckers like Nav are going to come out and be like, I will never be weak ass Cole.
I'll never be. He said, I may be weak, but I ain't no J. Cole.
Yeah, bro. Nav going to be like, I'll never fall off like J. Cole, and it's just going to be terrible.
Oh, my God, dude. I could see it now. Which, you know, I mean, literally, with the way the internet is, he's going to get that regardless. It doesn't even matter. People are just going to do it just to do it because it's too easy. It's a home run.
It's too set in
stone.
It's a
home fucking run for him to do. Dude, oh, my God. He's gonna be fucked.
I love J. Cole, man.
Me too. I love J. Cole.
He has to do like the Tyler rebrand that he did with like Flower Boy. Like he has to have that. He has to pull out that. Otherwise, he is fucking cooked.
Yeah, like
he's cooked.
It's like coming out and naming your album the worst album, and then everyone's like, "Yeah, you're right."
It's just naming an album bad or some shit like that. Yeah. But it's supposed to be some deep acronym that means something. Right. It's just like, motherfuckers on Twitter are just going to be like, yep, that's bad. Accurate title. Shout out J. Cole. Realest thing he ever said. Like,
yeah, bro, I swear to God, no. I can see it now.
Westside Gunn dropped the album.
It was good.
Talking shit. Oh, wow. My voice got caught there. Talking shit on the record. He somebody tweeted at him and they were like, I could tell Westside Gunn really took his time, crafted this sound. This is a special body of work. And he quote tweeted that and said, I made this album in a day. Bro.
Dude, he is so funny on Twitter. He kills me, dog.
He's fucking hilarious.
Because he just like, bro, he's the biggest shit talker ever. He's so funny.
Motherfuckers, bro, like they
really. But I could also say that it's like Westside Gunn is another artist. I'm getting the same album every time, and it's fine. I'm not mad at it. It's good every time. I like it. You know.
Yeah.
I can't even really say this is better or worse than any of the more recent albums that he's had. Like, it's on par.
Yeah. I did enjoy that DJ Drama acronym where he's like, y'all talking about ghosts, but y'all talking about goats, but I'm a ghost. Greatest. What was it?
I can't remember.
Something on shit talking or something like that. Greatest something on like shit talking. I don't know, something about shit talking where he was like, I'm just the greatest shit talker of all time. I was like, that's fucking hard.
Which is kind of true.
It's kind of true, yeah.
And motherfucker
got a Grammy for talking shit. That's crazy.
What I gotta give Westside Gunn, and really, I mean, it goes to all Griselda, but I know that Westside Gunn is a big proponent of it. Is, you know, as far as branding goes for your career and your aesthetic and what you do, I love that he's really just such a diehard wrestling fan, and he really plays that into his music and his skits and his everything, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think it was at the end of, it wasn't the Posse Cup with like Still Got Cooks and shit, but it was around there. It was like that was really good. Was called, yeah, Still Praying. That's the title track. But it was like mid to end of the album, and it was like some wrestler fucking battle rapping another wrestler like in WWE.
Oh yeah,
and he put the skit in. Like I love that. I love that he just like shamelessly like fucking loves wrestling. Like even though like I'm not a wrestling fan anymore per se. I mean I grew up with it.
Like,
me and you both did. But also like I love that he just he uses that as part of his brand. That's good branding. That's good as fuck. Like that gives you a thing about you that like people can kind of look at and be like, oh, he's this guy, you know. I like how he does that with his shit.
Absolutely, man. So it was a dope project. I like to rank you like, where is this on Westside Gunn's discography? Like, I don't know, motherfucker. It could be 17th, it could be 6th. I don't know.
Like, he has too many fucking albums to rank.
Yeah. So like,
that's a topic
for another day.
Is it Hitler where his Urban is 1 through 10? Which one's the best one? Yeah. I don't know.
Power rank them. Like, yeah, dude, go fuck yourself. Like, I thought 7 was better than 4, and it's just like, bro, what? All right. I know you didn't get to spin this yet, but I just want to give it time to shout out the Earth Gang record. I get that there's a sector of hip hop that will always just say this is Outkast, and again, I get it, like it's Outkast light or whatever. But this project was enjoyable.
Diet Outkast.
Yeah, Diet Outkast, but it was super refreshing.
As you know, I'm an Earth Gang fan. Like, I like Earth Gang. I just haven't gotten to this album yet, but their last one I really liked.
I'll play a couple records after we get off air.
Their last album, I can't remember what it was called, but it had that Future song on it, A Billy.
Oh yeah, it was like Ghetto Gods. Right?
Yeah, Ghetto Gods. I like that. That was a great album. I'm an Earth Gang fan. I see them as this. They're like a perfect B-list. Of hip hop. It's like
exactly what you're getting. It's cool.
Yeah, and it's good. It sounds good. It just I don't think they're
never gonna break.
They're never gonna break that mainstream success. Do I know why? Not necessarily, but. Because they have all the elements. They have the bangers. They have the deep cuts. They have, whatever.
I just don't think they do that. I think they have them, but I think they're light to the scope of things.
Yeah, exactly. I can see that. And it's never an absolute home run, but it's always good.
Yeah.
So, I stand behind Earth Gang. And honestly, I think out of the Dreamville people, outside of JID, Earth Gang is a very close second.
Yeah. Speaking of Dreamville, this was in the top. Ari Lennox made another tweet about how she wants out of Dreamville again. I think this is going on like a decade now. She's been wanting out of Dreamville. But
wanting out of Dreamville?
Yeah.
Why?
Just the typical thing of like, any artist will any reason and every reason an artist wants out of a label. They feel like they're not getting the support they deserve, all of that. Mm-hmm. And shout out Earth Gang too while I'm giving flowers, because Tyler wasn't the only person that dropped on like a random day. They dropped on I think Tuesday, I want to believe, or something like that.
Midweek.
It was a midweek. So shout out to them for being like a big act to drop on a.
Yeah, it's taking a risk.
It's taking a risk, but also at the same time, I personally think it's a home run because then you're not competing with what everybody else is. Mm-hmm. But then again, the other alternative is that people aren't looking for projects on Tuesday. So you have to make it very clear that it's coming out.
But, there are a lot of points made of Tyler dropping on a Monday is that because people aren't listening as much on the weekend. Because they're doing shit. So I do kind of I'd like to see it stray away from that because I like the uncertainty of like when someone's gonna drop.
I personally, as somebody that's gonna run a music network, I personally don't want people dropping every day. I'm fine with it. I want it to go back to like the standard like Tuesday. Like make everybody drop on the same day is fine. Just don't make it Friday because it's the weekend and everybody's got things to do. That's
why we're the only two people here right now.
I don't hate Fridays. I don't hate Fridays just because to me, I love music, so I'm cool with that being my weekend. But I get that counterpoint of I did enjoy the fact that Tyler, I had Monday through Friday to listen to it. Mm-hmm. I had time before this podcast to actually sit with it, think about it. And it was perfect because then you have all this new music that we're talking about now that that drops. So it all dovetails in. So I'm okay with it. But I like the idea of standard, this is the music day, because then otherwise it's dude, I'm already following all these different sports. I'm already to me, it's dude, I know Fridays are music. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Don't fuck with that. Don't make it Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and occasionally Sunday. Don't fuck my day up or fuck my week up like that. I am having a hard time figuring out when to do fucking laundry. Don't. I
haven't even been to Costco in 3 weeks.
No, dude, I need to go to Costco. Another album that I wanted to highlight that I know you didn't get to spin yet is Chez Noir. I thought it was.
I'm genuinely said I don't know who this is.
She's been around. I've definitely like name dropped her like once or twice, but it's never like because I've been following her for years, but it's been like, oh, okay, this is just another like name, you know. Mm-hmm. But like I never like took the time to show you. But she's just a very underground elite rapper. It's some of the best rapping of the year. She got in her bag on a few of the records. Like Sister Act went crazy. She had a record with Rhapsody. She had a higher budget, I noticed, or it felt like she had a higher budget than previously. So shout out to her. That was really dope. The Conductor Williams project was really dope. Shout out Conductor.
Conductor is one of the great.
He had Russ. He had Russ on a record that was tough.
Conductor is a fantastic producer.
Yeah, that one. That's one you got to give a spin.
Well, that's what's cool is like he's like, even though I don't know if he's technically Griselda or not, but like he was like a later addition because most of their beats were all Derringer, who Derringer was like their in-house guy for years. Like all the earlier Benny stuff and Westside Gunn and whatever, it was like pretty much all Derringer. And then the Conductor kind of became like the other producer that they really fucked with and used his beats and everything. So I have a lot of respect for Conductor. I do have to listen to the album.
Yeah, Conductor's hard. You'll enjoy that one. And then the IDK one, I know I'm the IDK guy here.
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
I thought I kind of found myself gravitating to more of the R&B records because there was rap records on there and there was R&B.
He has a good voice.
He does.
And also IDK is another one of those guys that I've been aware of for a long time because I remember back in the SoundCloud days when he was JIDK. So before he dropped the J in front of his name, and then he dropped it. I think when I Was Very Bad came out in like 2017, I want to say.
Yeah, because that was about when he was on my radar was that Is He Real album, which I think was 2017, 2018, something like that.
Is He Real was, 2018. So he had I Was Very Bad a year before that, and he had Doom on that record, and that was what really made it stand out to me, was that, like, getting a Doom feature in 2017.
And then he had the Doom record, too, after he passed. It was, like,
Oh, did he? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, it was on the not the last album, because he did that, like, dance.
He's had a couple. He's had a couple albums. Yeah, he had F6, but...
he had that one too. So it was like 3 albums ago.
You See It Now or something like that, I think it was called. Let me do my research. I don't have my laptop like I normally do.
He was fire, man. He did it. I think he's super talented. He always delivers for me. There's a concept to it too. There's like B's and I's. It's bravado plus intimo, I think.
Bravado plus which like I know what bravado means. I know what bravado means.
I'm guessing it means like introvert. I'm guessing.
Intimo. Yeah. But IDK, I'm gonna I like.
He's dope, man.
He is really dope, and I think he's just very similarly like a good not even in like a bad way. If anything, this is a good feat to have. But he is the B tier of IDK, JID, Smino. All kind of float around the same spot, in my opinion, as far as.
Well, I think JID is definitely a level above that.
Well, in talent, but not in popularity.
Oh, I would disagree. He has the Imagine Dragons record that went #1.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean him and Smino are, I'd say, are neck.
I know, and he has surround sound, and I don't think either of those artists. Smino, I would put Smino also above IDK too. I don't think IDK's had the success that either Smino or JID.
I mean, you could say that, but JID isn't at the forefront of hip hop at the like he's not the household name. What I'm saying is they all they all hold a similar place in hip hop in general. They all kind of float around the same area because JID is not A-list by any fucking means.
I don't think he's A-list, but I think IDK is more like a C-list artist. Like I think, and I don't want to make this a whole discussion. I'll just say I disagree, but I think there is a very clear gap between JID and IDK, and I think Smino's in between that, and I think even Smino's probably on the same tier as IDK, but higher. Like I think I like because because I mean, like JID's had like actual records go viral. He's had like his record sales versus IDK's record sales are like just different. Like
yeah, for sure. But I'm just at the end of the day, I
would put them at different levels. I get what you're saying though.
Yeah, because that's what
I would personally put them different levels though. But I'm not gonna argue it that much. It's not that deep to me. But I would personally put them different levels. I think that there's a big difference between selling like what IDK sells versus what JID sells.
I mean, yeah, I guess. But either way, I see them talked about the same amount. And I see Smino talked about the same. I'm saying they all kind of hold similar places in my opinion because none of them are A-list, but I don't see them. Maybe IDK would be C-list, but Smino would be B-list or JID's B-list as well.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would have JID over Smino just because I know Smino has a lot of good records, but I don't know if he's ever reached that level. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Look, IDK dropped a dope project. Speaking of JID, man, let's talk about that record actually before we get out of here. That's the last record I want to highlight is the JID and Ab-Soul record, aka the Chris Platte collab. Like this is like if you're telling Chris Platte what's a record you want, this is like a top 5 record. Like
I unfortunately I need to listen to that immediately, but I missed that too.
You haven't heard
it yet? I haven't heard it.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
We're running it.
I didn't even somehow that missed my radar. I know we had the group chat. I must have.
Well, it dropped on like a Monday.
I must have missed the discussion about it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no.
Even Birdie posted it, and I was like, because Birdie was like, "This is tough."
That's up my alley for sure.
Yeah. So I'll say this. I felt Ab-Soul did his thing lyrically, but JID really, and this begs into what we just talked about, JID has that star power now, that aura where he just carries himself different when he's doing the record. When he's doing the record, he has that aura that carries, like with a core hip-hop artist like Ab-Soul, he still finds a way to stand out. So, and it's supposed to be that way. Like JID is absolutely supposed to get on a record with Ab-Soul, and we both know how good Ab-Soul is. But we know the star power that JID has or potentially has, and he is supposed to make it feel like a him record. And I think he did that with this record. So I can't wait to get your thoughts after.
Oh, we're going to listen to that immediately.
Yeah, immediately after. Yeah, and then I'm going to spin a couple other records. But that is going to be the first one we listen to because I think JID, man, JID is just one of them.
Well, there are 2 people I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, and he did what he needed to do on there. So shout out to that. Before we get out of here, some other outro announcements. Kanye, and we'll probably talk about this when we got the crew because this is going to be funny, but Kanye announces his Bully album, but then he also announced today a $1 billion 6-year documentary. Apparently the budget for this is $1 billion, even though it was allegedly shot on an iPhone.
Didn't we just have a documentary of his a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
or Yeez. I think it wasn't Yeez, but it was something like this.
It was like 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. Which was a good.
Which I will say was
phenomenal.
It was phenomenal, and what a move to when like you're not even famous at all to have a guy following you around and say this is gonna be my documentary one day.
I mean, again, that's why Kanye's Kanye, man. Like, love him or hate him.
That's that visionary shit.
Yeah, it's that visionary shit. But apparently the first promo cuts are going to be screening November 7th. Well, you make your trip.
Oh yeah.
Also,
I will not be on the next step.
You will not be on the next step, and I hope to get out one of these part-time workers show up.
God damn it. That motherfucker's on unemployment right now.
Damn, bro. I'm gonna have to start fucking outsourcing. I'm gonna have to start fucking hitting up that Fiverr again.
Hitting up Fiverr. Anyone want to be on a podcast?
I said Fiverr. Is it Fiverr?
It's Fiverr, yeah.
Fiverr, yeah. But Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre announced Missionary December 13th.
Yeah, that's a big thing, and
like they had like a promo, and like they're serious about this.
The funniest thing,
like this isn't just some bullshit they're putting out.
I don't know if it was NFR or I don't know what publication it was, but they were talking about it, and they listed the features, and they said Dr. Dre, and then in parentheses rapping. Which I just thought was so funny. It's like oh no, you get this version of him this time. Yeah, someone said it was like when you get different like in Tekken when you have different costumes.
Oh yeah, like Devil Jin.
Yeah, like Devil Jin or you have Tiger to Eddie Gordo, you know? Like it's like Dr. Dre, but his
shout out all my Tekken players. That's a good reference right there.
Yeah, Dr. Dre, but his rapping form, not his producing form.
That's
although
hilarious.
It's produced by Dre too, but
yeah. Roddy Ricch announced an album December 6th, so the West Coast is just gonna be fucking up for the rest of the winter.
Roddy went off. He said like off the Tyler thing. He's like great album. My turn.
Yeah, great album. My turn. West Coast shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Supportively, not like in a bad way. Yeah.
Denzel Curry is dropping an album November 15th, which apparently is a deluxe, but it's also supposed to be like a whole nother album. So we'll see.
He had one song. Have you heard that? What the newer song that he had? He had Laser Dim. God, I wish Birdie was here. It's him and Laser Dim, and
I didn't hear this.
Somebody else. It's actually pretty. It's pretty fucking hard. We'll listen to that too. There's a video to it.
Also, speaking of records, Big X The Plug went number 2 for his album. Shout out to Big X The Plug. That's a huge achievement to debut your album number 2. Yeah, I didn't think he had it like that.
No, yeah,
I thought that was like a secret like fire artist that like I just kind of.
Well, I think he's all the elements of like new age Southern music kind of packaged into one.
Yeah,
you know, and I think
he's just got charisma, dog.
Yeah, I know because he has the rapping, he has the beat selection, and then he has the charisma on top of it. And it's like yeah, if you took everybody, all the Southern rappers from the Memphis to Louisiana people to Florida people, and you put them all in a pot, out you get Big X The Plug, I feel.
Shout out Big X The Plug, man. Number 2 is awesome. Big Sean also set an Amazon Prime music record, which I only think is interesting just because Kendrick did the pop out, which, again, I'm sorry, Big Sean. I love Big Sean, as you know. I had no idea that was happening. Remember, what were we watching?
I haven't even heard about it.
We were watching, it was on the TV. I think it was like a Thursday Night Football or something, and then right after was Big Sean.
Oh, yeah, he was performing after the Lions game. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought that was just like a random concert. Because remember I was telling you how I was at the Thanksgiving Lions game 2-3 years ago, and he performed there. Yeah.
Yeah,
so I remember the conversation. I didn't know that was like this. Okay,
so that makes sense then. Because in my head, I was like, ain't no fucking way he drew more viewers than Kendrick when, as somebody that is a hip-hop nerd, a Big Sean super fan, ain't no way I didn't even know that shit was happening until it happened. Mm-hmm. So ain't no way he set a record and he outdid the pop-out. But now it makes sense that he outdid
when
the
it's
pop-out.
Off the back of Thursday Night Football. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, listen, either way,
it might have been Sunday.
Shout out Big Sean. Shout out Big Sean for that. That was dope. Also, as we're recording this on Friday. Saturday, which is when this episode will drop, Lil Wayne's Louisiana Fest 2024.
Oh, so he's doing his own festival now.
Yeah, he's doing a little Louisiana Fest. So
I love that. I love that. That's like the direction a lot of people are doing. Which again, ain't gonna say Tyler Trendsetter. Camp Flognaw has been around for about 10+ years now. But anyway,
and also on the back of the Super Bowl thing with Wayne.
Yeah, that. But I love sitting between that Dreamville Fest. Like all these things. Like,
your shit.
I love the festival that people are kind of. That's like the direction a lot of people are going and throwing these festivals. I think that's so sweet.
Absolutely, it's an absolute money maker. So shout out to them. Isaiah Rashad's son Tirade, as we talked about, knocked off streaming.
That's crazy.
He posted that he thinks it's a Silk the Shaka sample that is the issue, but they're working to clear it. Yeah.
Of everything on that album, it was this, okay. Which I do like that song a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I love everything.
That's actually one of my. I
love that album.
But that is one of my favorite songs off the album.
Yeah. It's in my top 15 because I really love the
out
album.
of the 17 songs that are on there.
Because I really love the album, but the other two are like skits.
Yeah, between us, it's one of our favorite albums for sure.
But listen, TD, Top Dog, Punch, whoever handles that business side
Figure
of it,
that shit out.
Yeah, clear that shit out, dog. Clear that shit out, man.
Only having free lunch isn't gonna do it for me.
Not at all. Not at all. Although I was listening to that today, just because seeing No Sun's tirade got me emotional. So I was like, let me play free lunch.
Mama knew I was about it way before venue was crowded.
That's Park.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said I need that.
Oh yeah, I need that too. Yeah. Shout out to Isaiah Rashad Sun's tirade. Hopefully clear that up. But that will do it for this episode of the Rap Cave podcast. Again, shout out my guy Chris. Shout out my boy Chris for hopping from behind the scenes to hopping on the mic, holding it down while the part-time employees.
Yeah, y'all pulled me out my element for this one. I'm coming for you, Birdie, and the Balkans.
But you know what? You have to do it because you know what? This is something that, like, bro, you ain't getting this week for another 2 years.
I know. Oh no,
you ain't getting Tyler for a minute.
It was Tyler. I had to pop out.
Yeah, you had to pop out.
Lord knows I would have been behind the mic, fucking yapping the whole time anyway.
Remember that fucking that pop out costume and somebody called it to eat the grams.
Eat the grams was crazy. That's fucking crazy.
Yo, that was fucking wild. That was wild. But yeah, man, we're gonna have a good weekend. We're gonna have a good time. So shout out to our weekend festivities that we
got our housewarming party.
Yes. Shout out. You're gonna see a whole new studio next week. You're gonna see changes to it. So I can't wait for you guys to see that.
I mean, shit, this is new.
Oh yeah, shit, this is new. Yeah,
slowly but surely, it's coming together.
It's coming together, and there's a lot more pieces that are going to be coming in the next week. So you're going to be really excited. I can't wait for you guys to see it. But in the meantime, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that. Let us know what you thought of the Tyler album. Let us know what you thought of the Uzi album. Does J. Cole have to scrap somebody? Who does he have to scrap to get?
Who I got to fight?
Yeah, who you got to fight? What of these albums are you most anticipating? Do you think the Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg album is actually going to be fire? Do you think these guys are cooked? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, once again, subscribe, share it, help grow the channel, help build the community. I am Chris Platte, a.k.a. Platte Pods. I'm with Chris Apples, my dog, the producer, the core of this podcast. Shout out to him for
held it down on the backside of the road over here.
Shout out to you, man. Everybody have a good, fun, safe weekend. Peace out.
Peace.